Welcome to our Hairdressing and Barbering Level 2, Health and Safety course. This session relates to Topic 5, Fire Action. Introduction. Under the Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulations 1992, your employer is required to conduct a risk assessment for emergency situations. The main risk in regards emergency situations is fire, which applies to virtually all workplaces, but some workplaces will face additional risks because of the nature of the work they do. This session focuses on general emergency procedures affecting hair and barbering businesses. 1. Emergency action. 2. Emergency signage. Planning for an emergency. In the event of an emergency, quick and effective action helps to ease the situation and reduce the consequences. However, this is only possible when staff 1. Are well trained and competent. 2. Take part in regular and realistic practice drills. 3. Have clearly agreed, recorded and rehearsed plans, actions and responsibilities. Hairdressing and barbering business carry out their services on clients, so your employer has to consider members of the public as well. In situations where premises are shared with other businesses, consideration has to include the emergency plans and procedures created for other people, and that require coordination with other employers. Records. The employer's obligation to carry out risk assessment under MHSWR doesn't stop there. In addition, the employer has to maintain up-to-date records which must be readily available for inspection by the relevant enforcing authorities. The employer should also keep records of the following: procedures to be followed in the event of an emergency, competent persons responsible for implementing procedures, details of emergency evacuation drills and any other relevant training provided, maintenance of emergency alarms and other equipment for use in an emergency. What do I need to know? Your training for emergency action will depend on where you work. 1. The physical location of the premises, in relation to other premises. 2. The traffic routes for access and egress. 3. The designated assembly point following evacuation. People you work with. 4. Their roles in emergency procedures. 5. Their responsibility in relation to raising the alarm. 6. Calling the emergency services. 7. Assisting people in emergency evacuation. 8. Their use of specialized equipment and/or resources. What do I need to know? Hair and barbering staff receive essential health and safety training during their induction. One of the first things that they will learn is their particular arrangements for emergency procedures for their place of work. They need to know and understand these arrangements and are personally responsible for familiarizing themselves with this information. Therefore, it is vital that you are able to scan detailed information and find the important things that affect you. By gaining access to this information, you should be able to recognize typical features and understand the emergency signage, so that you know the fire action and procedures for your place of work. Fire action signage. All places of work have a standard fire action notice. It gives you general instructions about what to do in the case of a fire. Many hairdressing and barbering businesses share their premises with other businesses, and the fire action notices in your workplace may be written in different languages. 1. The top section tells you what you must do if a fire starts. 2. These instructions start with words such as raise, operate, call, leave. They tell you what action to take. Emergency signs have small pictures called infographics as well as written information. They explain what the graphic means. The fire action notice says if you discover a fire, don't think that someone else may have discovered it before you. You may be the only person to have discovered the fire. 3. So, reading the next instruction, raise the alarm by using your elbow to break the glass on the break glass alarm. The fire action notice has things written in order. You work down from the top, line by line. Emergency signs have different colors. Red areas are warnings. Blue areas are actions to take. Green areas are exits and areas to go to. 4. After raising the alarm, you work down the sign to the next line. Call the fire brigade. After raising the alarm and calling the fire brigade, you leave by the nearest exit. If you are in a building with lifts to upper floors, you must always leave by the stairs. Remember, the red areas are warnings. You must leave the building without stopping to collect personal belongings. Returning without being authorized. 6. The round infographics with a diagonal bar tell you things that you must not do. Remember, reading tips. Find information quickly by scanning for keywords. This means running your eyes over the text to help you spot the word you want. Once you have found the information, read it carefully, fully understand what you must or must not do. Assembly point. Every evacuation plan will have a designated assembly point. You would have visited this during your induction training and at other times when you have had a fire drill. This designated area is the point that you must go to after evacuating the premises. Regardless of the weather, rain, snow, sun or wind, you must go there so that you can be checked on the register as safely evacuated from the building. The fire brigade will want to know a list of all the employees on the premises at the time of the emergency event, so that they can be accounted for. Their first question to the emergency team will be who is safely out, and who is still unaccounted for. Question: At what point do you receive emergency evacuation training? Question: What is the first thing you should do in the event of a fire? Question: If you think that someone has called the fire brigade, what should you do? Question: What should you not do in the event of a fire? Question: What should you not do in the event of a fire? Question: Which of these will raise the alarm? To summarize. Well done. In the session you covered fire safety, with particular focus on 1. Emergency action. 2. Emergency signage.